What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my lord. Forgive me if I sound a little tired in this video. I legitimately am doing this as I just get out of bed. First of all, I want to give a quick shout out to all my new subscribers. Everybody who has watched my content, I appreciate it. And what I'm about to talk about today, I just want to put a disclaimer out. I have no ill will against any of these people that I'm about to actually speak of. I just want to lay out some, kind of insight and, kind of point out a few things that I find is kind of, fucked up about this community. So, if you're offended, I apologize. But again, to all people mentioned, nothing personal, just a point of view. Take it how you will. So, I've been gaming since I was, I want to say 6. I started like on this really old ass laptop. Then my parents got me an N64. Then I moved to PC. Then I had OG Xbox. And some of you have already heard this story already. And then my parents were divorced, so my biological father had a also had an N64 at first. Then he got a PS2. So I saw the Sony and Microsoft side of things up to the time when the PS3 came out, and by that time, due to personal occupation reasons, I couldn't, I wasn't able to game at the time. And then when I finally was, I was like, I want to go back to 360. That's where I felt the most comfortable. But and again, this is just how I feel. I feel this community is split between casuals, hardcore, and people who legitly, honestly, actually, give good content and actually know what the fuck they're talking about. But then there's this other side that people fail to recognize, and it's getting kind of actually annoying. To a certain degree, not to the point where I give a damn, but just point this out there. There's also the Extremist. Now, I love these podcasts. I legitly listen to them every single. I legit try to listen to them when I can to hear people's views. The Direct X, the Saltiest podcast, Coffee and Casuals, GRG from time to time. I still listen sometimes to Broadband and their content. But what I've been noticing since I've been distanced from everybody else was how many of these people actually not only do they how often do they actually personally game, but do you actually know how often they actually dedicate their time and effort to actually this brand? And I'm gonna take something out of my buddy Hebot's point of view, and he said it's just games. Well, Hebot, that might be true to a certain extent, but to us extremists, and I'm branding myself not a casual, not a hardcore. I'm branding myself an extremist. And I love it how we extremists basically give we give a lot of shits about these brands, these games, and I'm not just naming myself, I'm naming other people too. To us it's not games, it's actually life. And then you have these wonderful, awesome guys who, bring out good content, make good points. But at the end of the day, all they are is, the average Joe who has a family, who has kids, who has a wife, games in his off time, and, likes to speak about gaming. Nothing wrong with that. But then, on the flip side, you actually have people like myself who have done some fucked up shit that people, frown upon. And they don't really frown upon it because of what I did. It's because of how I did it, or the action inside it is, not very, they don't think it's very, intelligent, or it's, it's, you would call it extremist. But it's kind of amusing to me how often, the extremist points out something, and, uh, and, we turn out to be right, but no one acknowledges it. But then when, an average casual like, Mr., Colt Eastwood, or, Dealer Gaming, or, just the average person who, like I said, has a family, and plays games for fun, points something out, and they're right, then they're actually taken, to the moon and above. And I don't necessarily think that's honestly right. It's like, it's like with politics. Just because our president is a absolute moron and he like legitly wants to start World War III, doesn't necessarily mean him texting North Korea on Twitter and saying my button is bigger than yours. Damn right, my button is bigger than yours. Doesn't necessarily mean he's wrong. I mean, doesn't necessarily mean what he has to say is wrong. What he's saying is stupid and unintelligent or unprofessional, but doesn't necessarily mean he's wrong. So it just brings me back to the point that just because we extremists exist doesn't necessarily mean we shouldn't honestly get credit for what we do. Some of us extremists actually care more about gaming than the average person that has a family, that has other responsibilities, for example. And I find it that the casuals and the semi-hardcore honestly get more credit than us who like genuinely dedicate our lives to this actual hobby. And to us extremists, it's not a hobby; it's legitly life. And you can call that what you will; it doesn't really matter. But I find it kind of find it hypocritical to where extremists will point something out, no one will acknowledge it, or no one will care, and the average casual will acknowledge it, and then suddenly people will actually give a shit. But it just goes to show, maybe people care more about casual gamers than they do actual hardcore, extremists. I just don't think, you should exclude the extremist point of view, because most of the time the extremist, sees things only in the extremist point of view, to where, only that one subject matters and nothing else to that extremist matters but that one content of subject, or context of subject. To the semi-hardcore who is a hardworking person, to the average casual who like legitimately has a family and has a job, other things do matter to them, so they do have other responsibilities. But to extremists like me, like the only thing we actually care about is legitly playing these games, beating these games, giving our points about these games, and moving on. But it's just it's just kind of amusing. But that's just what I personally think. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Do you think extremists should be excluded? Do you think the average casual should get all the credit? Let me know. Again, I don't personally actually care either way. I'm just saying, pointing that out. Sometimes the extremists have a better point of view than the average casual, because that's all they actually give a shit about. But I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Again, shout out to everybody who watches this channel. I appreciate it. And if you have any, subject requests, shout them in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. And again, shout out to everybody new to the channel. I appreciate it. And this is T Reaper. Have a good morning.